Good evening. Good to have you with us on this big day. What an exciting day. It has been non-stop excitement since 6 a.m. on Mirror Now as we brought to you the results. And what a mandate. India has spoken and in no uncertain terms said that they want Prime Minister Narendra Modi as their PM one more time for 5 years with an overwhelming majority that has now become a reality. But as a consequence of that, the other side is the decimation of the Congress party. And we thought it couldn't get worse from what it was in 2014 when they were reduced to 44 seats. Well, 5 years later, one would hope that at least the Congress party gets its act together enough to at least double that tally, to at least become some kind of existent opposition, if not a formidable opposition. But what has happened today is that Rahul Gandhi has lost his own bastion, Amethi. What has happened today is that if you look at the map of India, Congress is non-existent in over 12 states, over a dozen states. Congress is completely non-existent, zero. What has happened today is if we sit and look at the picture of the seating arrangement of MPs inside the next Lok Sabha, you struggle to find any big faces from the Congress party. That is what it has been reduced to. So we decided that we are going to spend the next 45-50 minutes to try and understand what's going so horribly wrong for the grand old party. Are the Gandhis, Rahul and Priyanka, who was brought in this election season, are the Gandhis the biggest liability for the Congress party? What is it that they have done wrong? Why have they failed to sell their narrative? If you speak to the Congress people, they say, well, we fought the right fight, we fought the constructive fight, we spoke about people's issues, we spoke about development, about education, suicide, corruption, Rafale. Then why is it that Congress failed to sell its narrative? The other question, like I said, Priyanka Gandhi factor. Much ado about nothing. She came, she campaigned. The result in Uttar Pradesh is for everybody to see. And then we will try and understand Congress and the art of losing elections. Just where did the party lose its plot? So let's say good evening to our panelists. Badsha Sen, senior journalist, and Vinay Tiwari, a consulting editor. Both of them have been with us through this election season and all of today as well. Thank you so much. Mr. Bharat Kumar Raut is also with us. Thank you to three of you for joining us. We will have more panelists joining us. But Vinay, I'm going to start with you. And, you know, I was just doing this math. And there wasn't enough time before I came into the studio, but I counted 12 to 13 states where Congress is zero. And then I'm sure there are more if we add to it where they only have 1 seat or 2 seats. That's the reality of this grand old party. Yes, and that 1 seat state includes now Uttar Pradesh. They've just managed to retain only Raebareli. They've lost even Amethi. Now, if you have a party president losing its family bastion seat, you can well imagine what the state of the party is. And my biggest problem is that the party still seems to be in a bit of a denial. I think there are 3 or 4 things that the Congress has completely lost the art of. One is the art of fighting an election. You need an election machinery. This whole dream world that they live in, where they believe that just because they will introduce a trump card, which is quote-unquote Priyanka Gandhi, a month before polling is supposed to happen, and that will completely sway the viewers, tells you that the party is living in a world that doesn't exist. And I think they have been completely outmaneuvered, outsmarted, and out-strategized by a very, very nimble opposition, an opposition that perhaps now understands the new and the younger India better than the grand old party does. And I think that's perhaps the biggest warning sign for this party, that they have quite forgotten the pulse of India, and they really need to rediscover it fast enough before they become completely extinct. Tanvi. Okay, let me also say good evening to Radhika Khera, spokesperson for the Congress Party, Kurban Ali, senior journalist, and America and Iran political analyst joining us from Chennai. Just to also put this in perspective, because when I said, and let's deep dive further into that aspect, that they've gotten this horribly wrong. Gandhi's did 145, Rahul Gandhi did 145 poll rallies, 8 press briefings, 5 road shows. He started with a joint public meeting in Patna. He ended it in Solan in Himachal Pradesh. So he did cover most states. He campaigned in most of these states. His rally figure is actually matching to that of Prime Minister Modi. They spoke about farmer suicides, they spoke about unemployment, about economy. So when we say that they still have obviously gotten it completely wrong and missed the bus here, where would they have gone wrong? Mr. Bacha Sen, what's your view?
Well, this is not to say that the issues that they spoke about were wrong. I think these are very important issues, whether it's farmer suicide or agrarian distress. But the point is that the message that the Congress had just didn't get through. It didn't, as to use a cliched word, it did not resonate. It did not resonate because against that, the message was that of a very much stronger person, that is Narendra Modi, voted in the second time Prime Minister of India. Also very, very forceful and aggressive. And the point is a party machinery. Vinay is right. There's a machine. The Congress does not have a machinery. It failed to get across either. There was, as you listed all those things, farmers, suicide, joblessness. These are all the negative features that we have inherited over several decades. I mean, we've been discussing this over the day. If you go back to the 1950s, these same problems were there then. So actually the problems remain. And just by reiterating these problems doesn't make your campaign much better. It is to try and resonate, give you that one slogan, that one message which sticks. Indira Gandhi did it last, Garibi Hatao, in 1971. It stuck for a long time. Now Modi is saying that Garibi Hatao, even he remembers it, that Garibi Hatao was fake slogan because Garibi has not been hataud. But then in place of that, Modi has given a strong number of messages. He's talked about combating terrorism. He's talked about national security. He's talked about a range of subjects depending. He's talked about nationality. In the case of West Bengal, he's saying, he and Amit Shah have defined what is a nation or who are the citizens of this country. So the very, very basic things they've gone across these messages in Bengal. They've moved in UP. They've talked about the lack of security of Indians. So the Congress had only one list. Their list was grouses. Their list was eternal problems faced by this country. There's nothing wrong in that, but nothing much has been done to sort this out. And they failed to show that they are the only alternative to Modi. Modi was on pole position. There is no Tina, he was the Tina, that is, there is no alternative. And on the other side, the Congress was part of a herd, which included the caste-based parties and all sorts of people. So they were just a herd, and Rahul Gandhi just didn't get heard.
Right. Okay, so let's begin with Rahul Gandhi, and let's begin with what will go down in history as a big day, especially for Smriti Irani, and I would say all credit to her as well. She worked really hard, and she was constantly there, walking on the field, meeting people. On the day of voting, I remember she moved at least 10 to 15 locations. She spoke to the media at every location, and she kept asking this question: where is Rahul Gandhi? Rahul Gandhi has abandoned Amethi on the day that Amethi has gone to poll. Mr. Qurban Ali, do you think that really shows that Rahul Gandhi still has a lot to learn, or perhaps has just gotten it completely wrong as a politician?
You're asking me?
No, Qurban.
I think Rahul Gandhi was in the impression that nobody can defeat him, and he was taking it as for granted. And on the other hand, as you have rightly said, Smriti Irani constantly for last 5 years, she is taking it on her head as on her heart that I have to defeat Rahul Gandhi, and she was doing a lot of work in the constituency, and also she was having a connect with the people. She was staying there more time than Rahul Gandhi, and on the other hand, Rahul Gandhi was visiting his constituency rarely. I mean, most of the time his sister Priyanka was there, and she was trying to say that we are a family and Amethi is like our home, and nobody and the making of mockery by Priyanka Gandhi was quite disturbing to Smriti Irani. Who is Smriti Irani? She was saying. So it all, but somehow I mean, I must say that Sonia Gandhi could manage to win the seat from Raebareli, which was also quite difficult for her. But somehow the people of Raebareli has shown some mercy on her, and she could win. But that was not the case with Rahul Gandhi. And I think it would be a difficult time for the Congress party in Uttar Pradesh, and especially for Rahul Gandhi.
Okay, so let me bring in Radhika Kher at this point before I go to our other panelists. Enough on, right now that we've put out that she would want to respond to. Radhika, good evening. It's been a tough day for you. I'm sure it's been very disappointing. But let's begin with Rahul Gandhi and Amethi. What went wrong there?
See, well, you were there for the press conference that Rahul ji conducted. And we respect the decision of the people of Amethi. They have chosen Smriti Irani ji, and we hope that she will work as hard as she did to win this election for the people of Amethi and live up to the expectations and continue with the development work that Rahul ji had started and had been doing over there, and take Amethi to greater heights and live up to the expectations of the people. If they have chosen her over him today, we hope that she works twice as hard as we have worked. Now coming back to what happened, how we lost, the Congress party will introspect how we failed to live up to the expectations of the people, because we are sure that there was a lot of farmer distress, people losing jobs, unemployment, and women's security issues, the issues related to unplanned GST, demonetization, which we failed to convert into votes. So the Congress party will introspect and see how we have to take this fight forward and how hard we have to work. So that means the people of India had much more expectations from us, which we failed to live, and we respect that decision of the people, and we will then go and see how to improve on that.
Okay, let me take that point across to Mr. Bharat Kumar Raut. Mr. Bharat Kumar Raut, this is also largely what we heard from the Congress party 5 years ago. Do you think they have failed to really understand the pulse of India in these 5 years, which is why we are seeing similar results again?
Are you asking me only about Amethi or the entire scene?
No, largely.
First I will talk about Amethi.
Yes, both
this
actually.
is because last time Smriti Irani gave him a big fight. There, though she lost there. After that, I think there 5 years had gone in between when Rahul Gandhi or his team should have awakened and done something for the electorate there, at least shown their presence in the constituency. That apparently has not happened. The Rahul Gandhi team was caught napping. This was perhaps because of overconfidence, perhaps because of arrogance, or perhaps because of ignorance of the situation. And by the time Smriti Irani was working hard, very silently she was working, and she had gone from door to door, and her name was made known to the people there. So that had created a problem for Rahul Gandhi at the last minute. Rahul Gandhi, after all, he had to travel all through the nation, could not concentrate on his constituency. At that time, his volunteers, his workers, his office bearers should have taken up the job and filled in the gap. That perhaps has not happened, and that's why Rahul Gandhi had to face this type of defeat. Yes, Indira Gandhi had also lost, and Sanjay Gandhi had also lost from Raebareli and Amethi respectively. However, in 77 the situation was different. There was one national narrative, and that was against the emergency. This time there was nothing of that sort. So there was no reason why Rahul Gandhi should have lost from Amethi like this, which has been the Gandhi family's constituency for years. So I think it is only because of his own problems he lost the election. As far as UP is concerned, let me say that it is again the immature arrogance of the Congress party personified in Rahul Gandhi, that it did not enter into alliance with anybody in Uttar Pradesh. When Samajwadi Party and Mayawati, they can come together, and in 2015 in the Lok Sabha assembly election, Akhilesh and Congress had come together. Why that alliance was broken, and why Akhilesh did not think it fit to invite Rahul Gandhi to be part of the alliance, that I think somebody should do that introspection and take care of this.
Okay, Mr. Mahekanaran, is that what it is? It's the arrogance of this party and the arrogance of the Gandhi family that is, become the biggest liability today. And one aspect is what Mr. Bharat Kumar Raut said about failing to speak to other parties as equal partners to formulate that alliance. I'll come to you, Radhika. Just let me get a response from everybody. I will come back to you. The second aspect is also when it comes to, rewarding those who have worked hard in the party. Identifying the right candidates, people who worked on ground for 15 years, so many examples of them being turned away, not being given a ticket, and then Congress party having to lose that seat at the end of the day. Arrogance at multiple levels. Is that what is the first thing that they should fix right now? Mr. Narayanan.
Well, first thing is, I think we have not learnt from 2014 and made the same mistake in 2019. Modi has been a great communicator. Rahul Gandhi himself has acknowledged that. In UPA 1 and 2, India grew well, but a lot of good things that had been done has not been communicated effectively even when we were in the government. And when we were off the government and identifying the problems which we did, in terms of farmers' distress or unemployment or the Rafale or whatever the case may be, the communication we need to say, including Nyai, which is a great game changer, and it did have some impact, but however, it did not have the impact it should have had. So, I think communication in the right sense of the word, the sender has to take the responsibility to make sure it reaches out in whatever way. And Modi has done a great job on that. He lives, breathes in communication. And people say he manages the headlines, and that has paid off. Whether we agree or disagree or not, the proof of the pudding is in eating, and managing the headlines is all that he did. It has paid off for him, and that's something we need to learn, number one. Number two, the killer's instinct. Indians as a norm are said to not to have the killer's instinct. And particularly, I see in myself, being in 30 years in politics, there are certain things I cannot and will not do. But that doesn't suffice. Winners find a way to win. And they need to have the killer's instinct, which I know I lack. And probably coming in a culture of the way the tradition and whatnot, there are certain things the Congress refuses to do in the modern day politics, which probably is required. That's maybe another thing that I see as a lesson that Congress has not done. I don't think it's the arrogance. It's a question of doing the way that people understand. Even though we had the substance, I think we also need the style. And that's probably something we need to do. But you also can learn from what we have done in the South. In the South,
okay, let me
is a
get
complete rout. Particularly,
okay.
That's why when I...
Yes, I'll come to that. Yes, I will come to that because South is also very interesting. But let's not forget Karnataka, where now BJP has effectively wiped out both Congress and the JDS in the state of Karnataka. Kerala seems to be the only oasis for the Congress party. But Aman Sinha, American Airlines says that managing headlines, that's one big factor that Congress needs to learn from the BJP, and that's essentially why you've come back with such a mandate. Your response?
It's one of the reasons.
No, only he can explain what he wanted to say there, because sometimes I do not really understand what message that he's trying to convey. Regardless of that, let me say, Tanvi, at the outset, it's a massive historic mandate for BJP. People of this country have reposed their faith, trust and admiration and love in leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. BJP has been voted back to power with historic numbers. In fact, for the first time in history of contemporary India, after a gap of about 50 years, a majority government is being voted back with same majority numbers and the same Prime Minister who's at the helm of affairs. Not only that, I do not need your running commentary, neither your certification and assertion. You worry about managing your headlines. And please allow me to complete. I've heard everybody very patiently. Now, that apart, Tanvi, let me say that after 1984, which was a sympathy election in many respects, for the first time, political parties going to touch 300 figure or around that figure, and with India, our allies, we are going to touch about 350. That itself is an unprecedented mandate. We respect the mandate of people, and it's a huge, remarkable victory. And this is only because there is a huge pro-incumbency wave which is working in favor of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, and therefore people have seen what he has delivered in past 5 years, and based on that, people have reposed their faith yet again in leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. And therefore, Tanvi, you see that in about 17 states, BJP has polled more than 50% of votes, even apart from number of seats that we've won. So therefore, this is yet another remarkable and unprecedented, another factor which comes up, which has not been case anywhere in any of the elections. And therefore, Tanvi, I say, and the fact that Mr. Rahul Gandhi himself has been defeated,
let me make this a little interesting,
and that too very convincingly. Yes, go ahead and do it.
Yes, Aman Sinha, what is BJP's advice to Rahul Gandhi?
I think the Congress party perhaps should once in a while acknowledge the realities which prevail. And if they do not wish to acknowledge, it's not our problem. They will keep, suffering at the hands of people. They'll be rejected repeatedly because sometimes, not sometimes, in fact, I must say, most of their campaigns are built over narratives which are completely based on lies. And falsehood has no life at all, Tanvi. It stands exposed and destroyed. People can see through it. And Congress party could never build up any campaign against us. And there were no any such issues which were, in fact, kind of bothering the people of this country. Most of the issues where the Congress legacy was, the BJP was able to build on it remarkably well and deliver. We had about 135 large public welfare schemes and with about 35 crore beneficiaries. So whether it was a Ujjwala Yojana or whether it was, the accident insurance, life insurance schemes, giving a semblance of social security which never existed in this country. And besides that, Tanvi, the strong visionary leadership provided by Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, which ensured a robust national security doctrine and national security policy, has ensured that our country remains safe and secure. And one more thing which needs to be added very importantly, Tanvi, is that our organization, it was under leadership of Mr. Amit Shah, was a smooth election machinery, and our workers, about our 11 crore workers, they were working on ground right up till booth level, and they ensured that the popularity of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji is converted into votes, and therefore you are seeing a remarkable victory for the party. And we thank all people of this country for reposing their faith in leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji and BJP.
Okay, congratulations to you, but I'm going to take that point across to Radhika Khera. Radhika Khera, Does the Congress party need to stop being in denial about what's happening?
You know, Tanvi, in December, we won 3 states, 3 large states that the BJP was governing, and while being in the center, people of those states voted them out of power. We even won Punjab, we even won Karnataka. So it is not as if the Congress party has not worked hard, or the people have not reimposed their faith in the Congress, or that we have not taken the right issues. Yes, we did fail in these elections. Every election is a learning experience. You win some, you lose some. You learn from everything. You learn even from winning. And I hope the BJP learns from this win that the people have reimposed their faith in them. And when they talk about national security, I hope we don't have to see 19 such big attacks like we saw on our security establishments. And I hope we don't have to see ISI again coming to see our security bases. And I hope that the schemes that you promised to bring in are implemented well, and people do get their cylinders the second time. People have given their faith and put their faith back in the BJP.
People have responded.
They should be humble about it as well.
Your campaign of lies and falsehoods has been demolished. If you still wish to carry on with that, it's your choice.
Sir, I did not interrupt in between. I understand that it is a big day for you, but sir, I did not interrupt in between, and it would be really nice if you could hear us out. Thank you. And when
so, Radhika,
to,
so here is my question. So here is my question. You quoted these state elections where the Congress party won recently. Yes. So you quoted these states where you won the state elections recently. How did you so quickly lose these states? Is there an answer to that question yet? From Karnataka in a year to Madhya Pradesh, where you have 1 seat, to Rajasthan, where you're wiped out, to even Chhattisgarh in 6 months. How did you lose these states?
Exactly why we need to introspect and see where we went wrong. We knew forever that we are fighting a party which has a lot of money, which has been relying on a lot of propaganda, the machinery that they have. We had a huge battle to fight, and we lost it somewhere. And where we lost it is despite people reimposing their faith in us in these states again. So where we went wrong is what we need to introspect and work on it. Elections, this is the beauty of our democracy. You win an election or you lose an election, and any win is never permanent and any loss is never permanent as well. So where we went wrong, when the same way people believed in us, those farmers who were in distress in all the 3 states, who stopped selling their produce because they waited for us to come back to power, who had faith in us, maybe we failed to raise their voice the way they wanted us to, and we will live up to the promises of the people and make sure that in the coming assembly elections that we come back to power.
Yes, but you may you may say that you understand and you care about farmer issues, but the fact of the matter is you've clearly not managed to get the point across to them. Look at the way rural India has voted for BJP. Even in Uttar Pradesh, look at the way the rural area has voted for the BJP. Now, you say, losses come and there is another loss, but this is not just another loss. This is a series of historic records. This is the first time since 1984 that a party has got majority consecutively twice. 1 minute. I just want to put it in perspective. No, I agree with you, but I just want to put it in perspective, because if the Congress party is again missing the point, here is what it is. This is the first time since 1984 that a party has got consecutive majority. It's the first time a non-Congress incumbent prime minister has been re-elected. It's the first time since 1967 that a party has bettered its own majority performance. First time, like Aman Sinha was pointing out, that they are likely to cross the 300 mark. First time that the BJP has hit a double-digit mark in West Bengal. First time that they've got, 17 states with over 50% market share. And that list of firsts actually goes on. I've only covered half of it. So this is not just another loss. This requires serious introspection and step back, and serious accountability has to be fixed here. I don't think it just boils down to Rahul Gandhi turning up and saying, well, let the Congress party leadership decide whether or not I should step down. Vinay Tiwari, I'm going to come to you on that aspect. Even today's press conference, do you think
can I please
conveyed the idea that they get the gravity of what has happened?
Can I please...
Okay, go ahead. Radhika Kera, finish your point and then to Vinay.
Yeah, let me just make this very clear. The Congress president is not going to step down. Every worker, every party leader stands by him, and we are with him. He has led us to victories in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan, three big states that were ruled by the BJP despite them being in the center, and we will go on to win again. And yes, we will introspect on what went wrong and how we could not take the voice of the people, the dissent of the people strongly and convert it into votes. That is what we need to work on, and we will work on it, and we will come out victorious. And like I said, no win is ever permanent and no loss is ever permanent. Yes, it is a very big loss for us. It is a loss also for those people who have imposed their faith in us, who have voted against the Modi government, who have voted against the BJP. And we will continue raising their voice, and we will continue fighting for those rights, and we will continue to come back, and I promise you that.
Okay. Okay, so that's a reiteration of also the clarification that came in the evening that Rahul Gandhi has will not be stepping down, that no such offer has been made. Vinay, what do you think?
Tanvi, I'll tell you something. 16th of May 2014 was when the last general election results were announced, 2014 results. Between 17th of May and 22nd of May, we were still in television, and there were a series of spokespersons, much like Radhika ji, who, if you replay those tapes, would sound word by word exactly the same, which spoke about introspection and spoke about we will go back and find out. In 5 years, I'm not very sure what that, if the introspection that happened after 2014, which was the decimation of the party, the lowest ever they've ever gone, led to the needle shifting from 44 to 51, there is something wrong with the word introspection that you're using. If the idea of introspection is that you unleash your trump card, which is Priyanka Gandhi, 10 days before the first round of polling is supposed to happen in the country, there is something wrong with the way you're strategizing. If your idea of introspection is that you believe that simply by creating two slogans, a party can be revived, it's a bizarre kind of introspection you're doing. If you can't see the writing on the wall that yes, you have won 2 states, which is Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, but you fail to see that you won Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh by 0.5% vote share, you have forgotten the art of political strategy. If you have won a state by 10% vote share and in 6 months you lose every single seat to the opposition, you have lost the art of fighting elections. The Congress party needs to wake up, smell the coffee and realize that unless it takes some very tough and very harsh measures, it's going to make itself very difficult. They have not understood that India has changed. Voters have changed. There is a new generation post-2000 that is now voting, which doesn't care about legacy, that doesn't care about the grand old party, that doesn't care about family. They have a very different set of way looking at. Now, the BJP's narrative may be negative, it may have 100 problems, and we are no one to defend that. All I'm saying is, as an opposition party, and for the sake of the health of democracy, for heaven's sake, get your act together. Because you cannot have a universal narrative in this country. You need opposition, and unfortunately, that space has been completely ceded by what should have been the grand old party, the big party, which should have given BJP a better fight than what has happened. This is not a fight. This is a one-sided election, and that is not good for democracy.
I would like to take Vinay's point further. Can I? I just wanted to say
Yes.
that I think Congress has left many states to the mercy of BJP. Since how long Congress has not been able to rule the UP? Have you checked when was the last chief minister of Congress ruled the state? You don't. This is because the Congress per se in UP, I am talking only about UP, was interested only in 2 seats, Amethi and Rai Bareli, and now in the Amethi is gone. So I think you need to wake up. In politics, you are as good as that day's performance. You can't say the last time we had won, we had won that, we had done this, we had done that. But on this day, what are you doing? And my observation and observation of many, not only political observers, but the people at large, is that Congress is a sleeping boy. So I think better you wake up, you ask your leaders to wake up and do something for the party.
Okay, let me take that point a little further, and I will take it across to Mr. Batshas and Mr. Sen. There is also a sense that Rahul Gandhi as a leader, Aman Sinha, just let me finish this aspect and I will come to you, that Rahul Gandhi as a leader isn't, that one-man army who tends to have everything under his control to take all decisions. It's very decentralized in many ways. Do you think that's something that's not working for this party? Because for the longest time, that's not how they functioned. There was one party chief who was literally taking all the calls and making all the decisions, and now that is not happening, and that's kind of left the party directionless.
Yeah, Tanvi, before I answer your question, I just wanted also to point out the plight of the Congress. Just a minute, Mr. Sinha. Sorry, I don't wish to intervene, but Tanvi's asked me a question. If you don't mind, 2 minutes, I'll hand the floor back to you. The point is, Tanvi, in 2014, the Congress reached the bottom level of 44. It did not qualify as an official opposition in the Lok Sabha. Now it has reached the figure of 50. It still doesn't qualify as the official opposition. You need a minimum of 10%. You need 55 seats in the Lok Sabha to be an official opposition party. So it's still not. So in 10 years, they've not achieved that. That's just a small point. I wanted it for your, for your consideration. As far as the Rahul Gandhi, the leadership question is concerned, there is no match between Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi in this kind of playing field. Rahul Gandhi is very, very short on organizational abilities. He doesn't know the grassroots. He does not know the farmers, as you were talking about, the rural areas. He should have rebuilt this party in the last 5 years. He started rebuilding the way. Apparently, he's just about to rebuild the party in UP. I mean, compare him to Jagan Reddy. Jagan Reddy built a new party. His father was in the Congress, that is in Andhra Pradesh. His father died. He went pleading to the Congress. They gave him the cold shoulder. He's built a party and he's won the entire state in Andhra Pradesh.
He took 7 years.
He took 7 years to build a party in a small state. Now we're talking about the whole of India. So, and he did a padyatra throughout, exactly like YSR, his father. So the point is, it's a kind of hard work which I don't think that Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi are capable of. These are the sort of people whom Narendra Modi has routinely made fun of, calling them the Khan market crowd, the Lutyens is Delhi. Now, given the fact that they've inherited this party, what they need to do is to hand over the charge of the party and all the running around to trusted people, in a sense, to outsource the running of the party. For instance, they outsourced a lot of the campaign in Gujarat during the assembly elections and did better than now.
That's right.
I mean, Jignesh Mevani, Kalpesh Thakur, all of them did this.
They've done that in Punjab.
They've done that in Punjab. And it's so, Rahul Gandhi, fine, it's difficult for the Congress
Captain
to get...
Amrinder has delivered it in Punjab.
Yes, Amrinder. So it's difficult for the Congress to get rid of the Gandhi family because otherwise they'll fall apart. So let them sit there, no problems. But let them appoint others to run it properly.
And if you have the Brahmastra called Priyanka Gandhi, why were you keeping it in the storage for such a long time?
Yes.
You can't.
And when they played the Brahmastra, it didn't work.
A month before the election.
So I think it's time that they outsource the running of the party to someone else. Most probably they are within, but their leaders have got decimated now.
Okay.
That's it.
Point taken. Point taken. Yes. Mr. Aman Sinha, go ahead, please. You wanted to say something, and then I will take this across to America and Iran. Aman Sinha first.
No, just responding to what the learned panelist from the Congress party was saying. Wins and losses are not permanent, but what is permanent, Tanvi, unfortunately, is the Congress mindset of questioning and undermining the people's mandate with, they may give whatever homilies that they wish to, then they go on adding money power, muscle power, media power and all those things. Obviously, trying to undermine the mandate of the biggest democracy, the biggest electoral process anywhere in the world, which is a pride of our country. And this is what Congress is in the habit of doing. Therefore, I mentioned to you, Tanvi, that they do not acknowledge the electoral realities or the realities which exist on ground. Because as far as BJP is concerned, although they say that they have gained by winning 3 states, but let me remind Tanvi that in 2014, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji came to power, BJP was having government in 4 states. Today we are there in about 16, 17 states in totality. So therefore, we have gained in all respects. Today, BJP is at its all-time high under leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji and under party President Amit Shah. But the Congress party is at its all-time low under its leader. But they are not willing to accept it. Good luck to them. They can, live in a presumptive world. I do not wish to add to that. But let me also reiterate yet again that what these results reflect very evidently, Tanvi, is that many of the pollsters were also not able to read that there is a very strong Modi wave which is not only prevailing but it has strengthened, it has gained strength, it has gained pace, and today we are not only at our peak or having 100% strike rate in many of the northern and western states, but also in states in eastern India, whether it is West Bengal, whether it is Assam or Odisha for that matter.
Correct.
We have made remarkable gains. And even in South, in Karnataka, you have seen the kind of sweep that BJP had today. And therefore, I wish to yet again reiterate that there is a very strong Modi wave which is prevailing. And this election result which has come in favor of BJP is a result of that.
Absolutely. Aman Sinha, I think there were questions. Yes, there were questions about whether or not there is a Modi wave or how strong is it, and I think that debate has been put to an end today with these results. I completely agree with you on that. Radhika, do you want to respond to the other aspect that he said before I ask my final question?
I'd just like to add that Again, I would like to say the same thing. I will repeat myself. The people have again reinforced their faith in the BJP, and I hope that this time they live up to all the expectations of those people who have still not voted for them. It's all right. Amanji, you can call me whatever, and you can say whatever, and I will still go on to say that we have fought this election very hard, and yes, we failed.
I have only said that Congress party is not recognizing and acknowledging electoral realities and trying to undermine the electoral process and trying to undermine the mandate of people. No, please do not put words in my mouth.
Well,
therefore, because my duty is to clarify.
They did try to do that.
No.
Yes, well, to be fair, they haven't raised those issues today. They haven't raised those issues today, and I don't want to go down that road today. We've had enough of those debates in the run-up to this counting day. So I'm sorry, Radhika, let's not go down that road anymore. I'm running out of time, and there is one very important thing that I wanted to raise. Look at what's going to imagine the faces who will be there in this Lok Sabha when it begins, the newly elected members of parliament. There is not going to be any Mallikarjun Kharge. There is not going to be any Jyotiraditya Sindha. There is not going to be any Sushmita Dev. There is not going to be any Veerappa Moily. Milindera didn't make it. Priya Dutt didn't make it. Vinay, who's going to be leading Congress as an opposition party in the Lok Sabha? I think I can only think of, apart from Rahul Gandhi, is Shashi Tharoor and Manish Tiwari. That's what it's, that's all that I can think of.
Yes, and Badshah pointed it out that they officially don't even qualify as a leader of the opposition because they need 4 more, and they're unlikely to happen now that the counting is nearly over. So yes, Manish is perhaps the only one who's made a return, who's had a parliamentary experience, and so has Shashi. But apart from that, there is hardly anybody in the Congress left, and I think you can't have something worse than that, because all the seasoned politicians that you can think of, the people who've got multiple victories, background or experience, have been defeated in this election. Even in Rahul Gandhi's case, yes, he's won from Wayanad. But the fact of the matter is that, for a party president to lose from his home constituency, something they've never lost ever, is politically as much of a body blow as you can imagine. And I'm not too sure how and how seriously they're going to be recovering from it. So yes, parliamentary procedure-wise, the effectiveness in parliament-wise, it's a body blow for sure.
Yes. Yes, and the whole parliamentary process-wise, when you must have is a strong, experienced opposition to have healthy discussions and debates. Mr. America and Narayanan, that seems to be, I'm very curious to see how that pans out when the next Lok Sabha starts to function.
Well, there are 2 things I want to bring in. You all forgotten Mr. P. Chidambaram, who has been elected to, I'm sorry, Chidambaram is not. You only Karthi Chidambaram is. I
one,
take
sir,
it back.
But
I brought in.
Thank you. I added one more to the list.
The second thing is that
yes.
we talked about, I brought in about how BJP is wiped out in South India except in Karnataka, and there's no debate about that, which is okay. All I'm trying to say is that yes, they had won. I salute my Prime Minister who has won, and I think I do agree there is a Modi wave this time, and there is a lot to be learnt in the way of campaigning and the way they manage things. But just because they had won, it doesn't mean we can't talk about the money power, muscle power, the way they have, non-transparent money funding to the elections and whatnot. Maybe this is not the time. Let them enjoy it. But these are the issues that are cannot be pushed under the rug and has not gone away. These are the people issues, unemployment, the whole thing. So just because they had won, and there's no question about it, they have communicated and they were able to push these things and be able to appeal to the people's heart in terms of whatever appeals to them. They did bend the election commission and make it look the other way, but they have won. That's clear. But it doesn't mean these things do not exist, but may not be the appropriate day to bring it, because I think they should celebrate and it's a big victory. But it doesn't mean it cannot be brought up and they don't exist.
All right. Okay, we'll leave that for another day. Completely out of time, but I'm going to thank all of our panelists. All of you have had really long days, but I think it's just one of those historic, exciting days that's kept us going through the day. And thank you so much for joining us. Here is how I see things. Like I said in the beginning, it's not just about Rahul Gandhi losing his bastion. It's not just Congress being again restrained to just 51 seats. It's the fact that in over a dozen states of our country today in Lok Sabha, they don't exist. They have 0 seats. Add to that the big key states like Madhya Pradesh, like Uttar Pradesh, where they just have 1 seat each. That is the reality of the Congress party today. They've pretty much all of their big experience leaders will not be even present in Lok Sabha. Their vote share has been reduced to 6% in Uttar Pradesh, reduced to even lesser in many of the other states. In states like Tamil Nadu, they're riding on the back of DMK to at least be present in some or the other way. Congress party needs to seriously introspect. And this time, every single Congress member needs to step back and ask this question: are we in this situation only because of the Modi factor and that led BJP to the victory, or also because the Gandhi factor is a liability to us? Not just Rahul Gandhi, you brought in Priyanka, maybe you brought in late, but did that help at all? Is this over-dependence and refusals to see beyond them a big problem for the Congress party? And I'm not just saying this for the love of Congress party right now. I'm saying this because in any healthy democracy, apart from a strong government which is in majority, you should also have a strong, efficient opposition for a healthy policy discussion, which is what this country is lacking today. Thank you so much for joining us on this debate.